think you black? You're blue now. Let me ask you a question. You think you black?
I went to sleep.
You think them your people?
I went to sleep.
Well, they're not.
Anticipating.
We are.
I'm dreaming.
Did you ever forget that?
That I woke up.
These streets are a war zone.
Get up, America.
You're blue now.
I gotta meet a CI. Whoa, where you going? Stay in the car.
Listen, you already got rid of everyone that could talk.
What the hell are you doing here, rookie?
Whoa. Just relax. There are all cops here.
This isn't what it looks like.
What the hell did you do?
Shut a body cam on! But we got a ghost! She's gone!
Find her!
I've been shot.
And you gonna bring that to my neck? Ain't nothing for you in here.
Let's get you out of here.
We got her.
Don't be stupid. All he wants is the body cam.
Please, I've been shot.
What? You can't be in here with this. The police, they'll help you.
It was the cops that shot me.
Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies.
She cannot get back to the precinct to upload the footage on that camera.
My cup runneth over.
Every cop and criminal in this city is coming to find her.
I
want her dead.
The Lord.
Put everybody on it.
You got a price on your head. What you gonna do?
I'm gonna expose them.
If they erase the system, all of this would be for nothing.
This was your plan?
We're still alive, aren't we?
You got a hard choice to make right now. Are you one of us, or are you one of them?
She picked her side.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Murder's murder. Don't matter who you are.
I will fear no evil.
The movie of Black and Blue takes place in the Northern City at a time when the rookie officer Alicia West is beginning her duty as a police officer. One day, while she volunteering to take her partner shift patrolling, Alicia heard a gunshot when being instructed to stay in the police car and quickly ran outside. And at there, she see that the patrol officer, Deacon Brown, just standing there while the drug detective, Terry Malone, and his partner, Smithy, has murdered a black citizen, namely S-Zero. This story begins when she finds herself on the run from these men who are only interested in the footage of her body camera as a means of covering up their illegal activities. The remainder of this movie is a race against a time as Alicia makes every effort to return to the police headquarters to upload the footage into a system, despite the fact that an increasing numbers of her fellow policemen are following after her and are getting closer and closer to catching her. So, what do you guys think? It is interesting, right? I'm sure you guys will love it. Without further ado, let's get started for our discussion regarding this movie.
Calm down, all right? Tell me what's going on here. Calm down.
I'm calm. I'm calm, Miss Officer.
Tell me what's going on, sir.
Look.
Why are you throwing punches, sir?
I ain't throwing no punches, Miss Officer. I ain't throwing no, I swear, no punches. I'm trying to have a good time with my girl. That's it.
Girl, having a good time. You don't need to be throwing punches, sir.
I ain't throwing no punches.
So why are you throwing punches?
I ain't throwing no punches. I swear. Look, Miss Officer.
You out here trying to get something
The first critical incident that we found in the movie of Black and Blue is have a high commitment in executing their role as a police officer. The scene is about Officer Alicia West together with Officer Deacon Brown committed a night patrol, and when they found a group of young people fighting on the sidewalk of the building, they immediately approached them and resolved the disputes. Officer Alicia West intervened and tried to resolve the fight by saying, Sir, I need you to calm down, alright? Not only that, Officer Deacon Brown, who found there was an armed young man trying to attack one of the men there, quickly took action and stopped him by saying, what are you doing? You are trying to get some tonight? He proceeded to remove the pistol owned by the man from his pocket and detained him to be taken to the police station. Not only that, during this incident, also Officer Alicia West had made an eye contact while talking to a man who started the fight, where he calmed down and then listened carefully to the reason how the fight could have started. This coincides with the theory in communication and is a communication skill that must exist in every profession, whether police, clerks, nurses and others, where it should be applied in the workplace. Here we can see that determination and dedication of two police officers about their duties as policemen help in preventing crime and keeping the people safe.
This is Alicia West. I'm a police officer, and this body cam contains footage of narco officers murdering civilians. If you find it, please turn it into the FBI. Thank you.
The second critical incident that we have found is the responsibility and bravery as a police officer in performing her duties. The critical incident is about Officer Alicia West, who fights hard to protect and takes good care of the evidence of the murder, which is the body cam that captures everything about the murder committed by a narcotic police officer against a boy. Officer Alicia West is clever in devising a strategy where she has hidden the camera behind a bedroom mirror cabinet in an abandoned apartment, where she has said, "This is Alicia West, I am a police officer, and this body cam contains footage of narc officer murdering civilians. If you find it, please turn it into the FBI. Thank you." This clearly shows Officer Alicia West was fully responsible for the incident as a police officer. Even though she was chased and nearly killed, she still protected the evidence of the murder well, and this kind of action should be emulated by other police officers. The theory of communication that we can see here is Officer Alicia West was greeting first by introducing herself, which is, "This is Alicia West, I am a police officer," and close with the conversation, "Thank you." This is a good and polite communication ability when people will know who this video is from and for what purpose.
Hey, you do any tricks on that thing?
I just still did nothing.
I never said you did. How long you had it?
Been having this for a couple years.
The next positive critical incident is friendly cops. Based on the scenes, Officer West saw Missy's son Jamal sitting alone in front of the store and decided to start small talk with him by asking did he know any trick and how long he plays skateboard. She was asking Jamal, "Hey, can you do any tricks on that thing? And how long you had it?" The analysis of the incident is Officer Alicia West has shown the good and kind behavior toward Jamal by being a friendly cop and started the small talk with him while performing her duties. Based on communication theories, it's a very good attitude to display to a child that her profession as a policewoman does not mean she is an unapproachable person or serious all the time. Moreover, Officer Alicia West's attitudes toward Jamal can bring a good effect, which will reflect the image that a cop is not an arrogant person and also can make Jamal feel less lonely when sitting there alone without anyone to talk to. Lastly, for the recommendation, as an officer that protects civilians, they should always display a good behavior towards civilians in order to gain the respect and trust from the society.
You really gotta wear that thing?
Why, you got something to hide? Better get used to them. We're all gonna be wearing them soon.
Just don't point it at me.
This scene happened when the veteran officer Deacon Brown asking Alicia, "Are you really got to wear that thing?" And she answered calmly by saying, "You better get used to. We are all gonna be wearing them soon." Officer Alicia West did comply with the uniform rules that require the police officer to wear a bulletproof vest fitted with a body camera when performing their duties, even though being judged by the Officer Brown. Based on the communication theory, we can see here that Alicia West tried to talk calm and nice to her new temporary partner for patrolling. Alicia West has displayed a good attitude to the Officer Brown to make sure that he knows the basic rules as the police officer and do not take it easy since it could involve their life when doing a patrolling. We can see here that Officer Alicia West is a professionalism and ethical by giving a good example as a police officer by keeping on using the safety uniform. We know that the role of the public officer are dangerous and could endanger their life, and it is important to have a good safety and security by the police officer themselves.
State night.
Do me a solid. You find somebody else?
Look, I got 4 guys out tonight. Okay, you're not the only badge with a family, Jennings. Come on.
I'll take his spot.
You're riding with Deacon Brown. Meet him in the lobby.
Next, in this scene, it happened when the Alicia partner, Officer Kevin Jennings, has a night date with his wife. Suddenly, Kevin Jennings is asked to be in charge for the patrolling, but the Officer Alicia West offered herself to replace the Kevin since Kevin already have an appointment by saying, "I will take his spot." Officer Alicia West has shown a good partnership in the workplace as she is a kind-hearted and considerate toward her partner's situation. Based on the communication theory, we can see here that Alicia West used an appropriate tone and language while offering her service without having a bad intention of helping Kevin. As for the Alicia West behavior and consideration, Kevin is very thankful for her help since he has a night date with his wife. Alicia West also gives a good example as a police officer and humanity in trying giving her best by offering her service to ease the burden of the colleague. We can see here that the officer Alicia West is a supporting colleague since he understands well the situation happening to her partner. Therefore, helping each other could be practiced, especially in the workplace, to make sure that all the consequences could be avoided.
All right, let's roll, partner. Thank you.
How much do we owe?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's all right.
Cops don't pay. You good.
The next negative critical incident is cops are conducting misuse of power towards civilian. In these scenes, Officer Kevin said, "That's all, let's roll, partner," to Officer West when he done making coffee and takes some snack from the store and directly exit the store without paying for the goods that he takes. On top of that, Mouse say in these scenes that cop don't pay, "You are good," to Officer West when she asks how much her partner need to pay for his good that he takes. Mouse give justification why Officer Kevin does not pay because he a cop and all of cop don't need to pay, which is a misuse of power towards civilian. The analysis of the incident is Officer Kevin has shown the poor work ethic, corruption, and also unprofessionalism attitude as a police officer while performing his duty. Based on communication theories, it's a very unethical attitude when a person takes someone's property, then just walk out like nothing happened and not feel any guilty at all. Officer Kevin had displayed the negative attitude towards civilian, and it will bring a harmful effect such as it will tarnish the whole a good image of a cop, and the society will lose their trust and respect to all the cops because the cop that should protect them is the one that take advantage and also bully them. As for the recommendation, the behavior as a police officer is always need to reflect the ethical and professionalism because they hold a very significant role inside the society, which is to protect and be a person that people can reach to solve their concerns.
I'm the one who called you, sir.
Any sharp objects, needles, knives I need to know about?
No, sir.
What's up with all the aggression, man? What did you just say to me? Keep your mouth shut.
In addition, the negative critical incident in this movie that we explore is aggressive cops towards unarmed civilian. In this scene, unethical conduct has been committed by the aggressive cops violently and brutally behavior while doing inspection towards unarmed civilian named Mouse using the handgun. Mouse repeatedly says he doesn't have sharp items like knife, needles, etc. and says, "What's up with all the aggression, man?" And then the police officer replied while pointing a gun at his head by saying rudely, "What did you just say to me? Keep your mouth shut." This clearly shows not only that the police officer violated ethical principle as a police officer when detaining or inspecting a person's body, but he also had the poor communication skill. This can be seen when there is no element of greeting in their conversation, where the policeman continues to hawk Mouse rudely, making the civilians named Mouse feel sorry and shed tears. Ideally, a police officer should reprimand him first and introduce himself that they are the police officer who will detain of civilian for whatever reason, not just stab someone rudely and aggressively. Furthermore, Mouse is not a threatened suspect and does not possess a weapon, and this clearly shames the ethical principle of police officer.
She got trigger happy, she shot a kid. Now she is in the wind.
You're telling me West killed a kid and now she's a ghost?
Yeah. Ahmed wasn't just a kid. It's Darius Theroux's nephew.
It's a problem. Why didn't you call it in?
Captain, it wasn't I told him not to.
The next negative critical incident is cops defend another cop. Officer Malone in this scene is slandering Officer Elisha West as a murderer to his station captain and also rudely interrupt Officer Brown when he wants to give explanation to his captain about the situation that happened with Officer West. Moreover, Officer Malone interrupting Officer Brown by saying, "I told him not to," while Officer Brown is not yet finished his explanation in the conversation. The analysis of the incident is, Officer Malone displayed a very rude attitude when participating in the serious conversation by rudely interrupting his colleague. Based on communication theories, it's a very unethical and unprofessionalism attitude to interrupt people's speech while in the serious and formal conversation. The effect is, Officer Malone in this scene is given a very bad impression to his personality as a police officer, because interrupting without a proper way is hinder the message that wanted to be delivered by the person that he interrupts to. It can cause the communication that happened is not in the two-way communications. As for the recommendation, an effective conversation needs to be in two ways communication and always respected the person we talk to. If we want to interrupt someone's speech, we have to do it in a proper way in order to not offend him, and also can help to reflect our professionalism and good personality.
You brought her, you shot her, I gotta clean this shit up. This is great. Go to a private channel, go to 19. Dispatchers heard enough of this shit already, okay? Spread the word.
Lastly, in this scene, it happened when the drug detective Terry Mellon and his partner, Smithy with the Officer Brown, failed to catch the Elisha West. Detective Malone angrily say, "I got to clean these shits up," and continue ordering the Smithy and Officer Brown to call the private channel and saying that dispatch has heard enough of this shit already. In this movie, Detective Malone have shown a very unethical and unprofessionalism since keep on using a bad profanity and vulgar language toward his colleagues to release his anger. Based on the communication theory, we can see here that the Detective Malone has been practicable in using a bad profanity and vulgar language when talking to his colleagues. Detective Malone has displayed unethical behavior, and this directly give a bad example to his following colleagues by practicing inappropriate language. To be concluded here, as members of a law enforcement agency, which is detective, should retain and control their emotion to not be too emotional even having a bad day. Moreover, it is also for the purpose of the law enforcement image matter, and this profanity could make them appear unprofessionalism, undisciplined, and lacking self-control.
In a nutshell, we can conclude that the Black and Blue film by Son Sorensen has many positive critical incidents that should be emulated and also the negative critical incidents that should be learned. Among the many, we have identified that there are 9 critical incidents that most affect us. The positive critical incident includes the police officer have a high commitment in executing their role, besides the responsibility and bravery as a police officer in performing her duties, and also this film captures a scene of the friendly cops. The other positive incidents that could be as an exemplary are obeying the regulation and professionalism as police officer and kind-hearted with considerate towards her partner. In contrast, the negative critical incidents are also identified in this film, where cops are conducting misuse of power towards civilian and the scene of an aggressiveness cops towards an armed civilian. Next, there are also the scene of cops defame another cop and practicable using bad profanity and vulgar language by drug detective. That's all for our discussion. Thank you.